Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here again. So I'm going to do another one. I was asked to do a video, this upgrade for the E3600LFP, if you didn't notice already, of what happens to the actual system when all the batteries get drained all the way down. So I'm running this all the way to the ground. Cumulative the batteries, it says 7% for the entire system. I'm drawing out 1577-ish watts. It goes up and down, obviously. I have a heater running and some tools for the shop and things like that. And so let's watch this here. The battery is at 50.9 volts as 7% for the system. So now notice that the host is at 1%. So the good thing is the host does not turn off when those batteries get low according to the screen, because obviously that would waste the extra power that's in that last battery, and then you wouldn't be able to use it. So it is utilizing that last. It was down to 25% about a minute ago, and now it's down to 24. So I'm going to go right down the list here. The batteries 1 through 5 in order, which is 1, 6, 6, 1, and 24. So notice those two are at 1% already, according to the meter. Now remember, the voltage of these things is not really as low as it looks. That's the weird thing. Matter of fact, I'll back that up and I'll show you here. Let me get the multimeter again. Let me move this out of the way here. I gotta do some moving here. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, let's put that there. And we're gonna check. All right, let me see if I can move this here. All right, I gotta pause the video to reload here just for a second. Okay, sorry guys, I had to make the screen bigger so you can see everything. I was zoomed in way too far, so you could still see the percentage here. It's 1, 6, 6, 1, and 24. And then what we're going to do is we're going to check, with this little guy here, we're going to check the voltage of all the batteries. Now, if it's 24% and the other ones are 1, they should be really far off, right? According to the voltage, but let's see. This is the first time I did this part on video here. Let me put this here. Might have to back up the system a little bit more here. Give me a second. Oop, there goes my meter. Okay, that's not good for it. Right, there we go. Okay, I had to get this on video somehow. And then I'll take these two probes. Okay. And we're going to test the last batteries on each leg. So leg 2, which would be that crushable battery. I don't think it's the battery. And then this one. So we'll try this one first to get a base reading. And that is, as you see, 51.2. Oop. There we go. Okay, so 51.2 on this battery down here. And now we'll check the other one. The probes kind of, lose contact unless you push them down a little bit. So that's why it went to 0. Okay, so here I'll do this one now. I can get in there. Okay, and then that one, notice that, guys, see that? 51.2. So as weird as that is, according to the voltage of the batteries, they're the same, right? 51.2 on both sides. So the batteries are absolutely identical. Let me close this up here, guys. Okay, so the batteries are identical. Multimeter checked, or 1, 6, 5, 1, and 24. So this is definitely going to be a software issue. I don't think it's a hardware issue, because the battery cells on this side are the same as what they are on that side. So there's no reason that this meter should be off at all. Let me put this away real quick here, guys. I already dropped it once. I don't want that to happen again. All right, but what we're going to do is we're going to continue to watch this in real time. And that way you're going to see what happens after it gets to 0. We're going to see if the system shuts off. We're going to see if it doesn't, or just what it does here. We're going to watch it real close here, okay? And let's see, we're at 1571. We're at 1, 6, 5, and 1. I'd like to pull out a little bit more power just to see what it'll do, just to drop it a little quicker. You know what I mean? So let me see what I can do here. So I could rig up something else here. just so the video is not so long, guys. Okay, I'm going to pull another 600 watts out, and I'm going to charge another power station with the little PECRON brick charger. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to plug that into the E2000, and then just to try to, you know, finish the system a little faster, just so the video's not so long, guys. Okay. Like I said in many videos, I like the system. I really do. It's just this reporting thing is kind of strange. Okay, so that should kick on in a second here, and that should bring out approximately 600 more watts. And that way we can get these numbers to kind of move a little bit faster, to drop it all the way down here. Okay, so yeah, we're at 2175, so that shouldn't take long here. Okay, so we have 1, 5, 5, 1, and 22. Is that 20? I think it's 23, sorry. These numbers are tiny. The older you get, the more you struggle to read those tiny letters, guys. Or numbers. All right, now I'm going to run the system all the way until the inverter shuts down and the system completely shuts down. And that way we can have a pretty good reading of it here. Let's see here. Let's put that right there. Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. All right, so all we got to do is wait now. Now it's a waiting game. So 1, 5, 5, 1, and 23. But, you know, the nice thing, like I said, the system doesn't turn off. Let's see what the whole thing is here. 7%, 50.6 volts on the system. And then let's look at the battery cells, why this is doing it. 3.15 across the board, except there's a couple, oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3.15 and 3.16 across the board on battery number 1. Battery 2 is 3.13 to 3.17 across the board. And then 3.16 to 3.17 across the board. Next one is 3.16. The whole thing is 3.16. And then the last one is 3.16 to 3.17. There's like maybe a couple, just like 2 or 3 of them that are 4. There's 4 of them that are 3.17. So notice that the voltage is the same, guys. It's the same, literally, except maybe 3 or 4 of the battery cells are just, and that's not enough to make that big of a difference. Because remember, this one is on 1%. This one is on like 22%. See that? There's not a lot of difference there. Not much at all. There's maybe, I want to say like probably four battery cells that are actually higher. So let's go back and watch it again in real time. 1, 5, 5, 1, and 23. Okay, nothing has changed here. It says we have about 29 minutes left. Now, I don't want to do this for 29 minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some more energy. Give me a second, guys, here. And then I'm going to plug this one in here. I got this one from Amazon here. This is so you can have another 120 plug. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Let me back this up a little bit. That's so you can have another 120 plug right there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take another charger. We're going to take another 600 watt charger, the old brick from PECRON, you know, the basically the big boy from the E2000 LFP, the original. And then we're going to plug that in to the E2000, and then we're going to charge another 600 watts just to speed this up. If we can drop this down to maybe like 15 or 20 minutes, I think that would be pretty good. We're down to 28 according to the meter. Let's see if that meter is accurate. And then PECRON will be able to see this video and let me know what the heck. Okay, so I'm going to plug that in this one. Okay, so that turned on right away. So yeah, I noticed that the older one doesn't have any pause or anything. It just goes. Which I like the newer style brick for the E2000. If you have the E2000, I highly recommend the newer version of the brick, which is the one they sell now compared to the original one. Wider voltage range, better quality for transference loss, parasite draw, just everything. Okay, so here 1, 4, 4, 1, and 22. Now notice that last battery is still, it says it's higher, but it's like you know, like I showed you, 6% on the system, 50.3 volts. I checked the voltage on that, and you guys saw in real time that the voltage is no different from the other system or the other batteries. So here now we're pulling out 2,800 watts. That should definitely knock it down. That's the squealing of one of the chargers, I believe, or the fans. Oh, it's the fans. Okay, it's the fans of this system here. Let's see here. Okay, moving everything around here. And like I said, we're going to watch this in real time. So still 1, 4, 4, 1, and 22. I've used this system as much as I possibly could for the last, I don't know, probably month or two. And I haven't had any problems other than that one battery just doesn't want to balance. It doesn't matter what battery you put on this one. It just seems like that last one just doesn't want to, like it balances, right? It balances. You saw the voltage. But the percentage on the meter never really balances. And you can see now that at 1441, you know, and this is at 22%, that's way off, guys. That's completely way off. So it says 20 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I can ramble for 20 minutes here, guys. I can't really get any more draws out because I have this. I could pull out another, boy, this thing's a monster. I could pull out another, let's see, 600 watts. Let me get a very small heater and put it on the other side of the room. Give me a second here. Just watch this in real time, guys. I'm going to pull out another 400 watts on the other side of the room here. On probably this one. Okay, there we go. So here we got 3,000 watts, 3,100 watts. I need a Dr. Pepper, 3,200 watts, so that's definitely pulling out about another 400 watts of a heater on the other side of the room, and I won't complain. That's the fan on the little charger down there on the PECRON. Now, right now, I'm pulling out some pretty good wattage, right? I'm pulling out 3,200 watts plus. We have 1, 3, 3, 1, and 22. So we'll just wait and see what that does. Okay. All right, moving everything around here. Okay, I don't have a lot of room to work with in my workshop, guys. So here, 1, 3, 3, 1, 22. It says 16 minutes, so I'm pretty sure we can all wait 16 minutes. If you want to fast forward the video, I do understand. But I want to watch it in real time to see what happens, or film it in real time. That way, if anything crazy happens, you'll see it when it happens. Let's check real quick here. Okay, 6% on the system, 50.1 volts on the entire system. The system is at 82.4 degrees. And for the battery cells, 3.13 to 3.12 is the lowest I see on there. And then that one is 3.14 across the board. That's the battery in question here. So, yeah, they're all about the same. They're all within 0.01 volts of each other. Some are 0.02 volts, for those who are keeping track of the home runs here. All right, but you know, like I said, that's the good thing. At least the system does not shut off when this reaches that, when the host reaches 1%. Because if it did, then obviously you couldn't utilize the rest of that battery, battery number 4 or battery 5 on the meter. I wish they would number them 1 through 5, but I understand. I in my head I label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so much easier rather than the actual numerical numbers of the system, which is host 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I have no idea. That's a programming thing for the board. It has to be in that numerical sequence for some reason. Maybe that's a programming thing. Okay, so 1, 3, 2, 1, and 21%. Now what we'll do is when these all get down to 1, if this test still goes, these are all at 1% and this one still goes, Yeah, I don't know. That means that there has to be more energy in that last battery. So we'll see it in real time, guys. These have got to drop pretty soon here. I'm pulling out 3,200 watts. I can't really pull out that much more. I think, oh, it's actually, yeah, 30, what is that, a 3,600 watt inverter. So I never go this high. This is a lot of power I'm putting out. A 1,500 watt heater, two 600 watt chargers on the E2000 LFP. So at least I'm not wasting this energy. I'm saving some of it. And the 400 watt heater behind me on the workbench. So at least I'm not wasting some of it. I'm turning it into heat and transferring some of the power to another power station. So that makes me feel better about the test, because that's a lot of power to waste. At 3,000 watts, it would cost me my electricity here at this location is about 18 cents per kilowatt hour. So this would cost me just under 60 cents to run that for an hour, which that would add up quite quickly if you were to use that from the wall. 60 cents an hour times 24. I mean, do the math on that. That's yeah. So that's about $15 almost per day just to run this stuff a day, and then you times that by 30. So yeah, $350 a month or so. It adds up really, really quick. All right, 15 minutes. We can do this here. I've made videos that are longer than this, guys. And like I said, we're going to watch this in real time, just so we can focus on what the heck it's doing here. 1, 2, 2, 1, 20. Oh, now this one's 21% now, that last one. So what we'll see is if that last one drops really quick, then you know it was an error in reporting. Oh, see, 20%. See how quick it's dropping down now? It was just 21%, now it's 20. So if this starts going down real fast, then you know that the reporting is incorrect, but the energy is correct, if that makes sense. The voltage level is correct. But I'm going to burn this all the way down until the inverter shuts off, and then I'm going to plug it in right away to get the system back. I'm going to plug it in the wall or solar, but I think it's too early for solar. It's 9:40. It should be good for solar, but it's all cloudy outside, I bet. Let me check the weather here. Yeah, on the camera it looks all cloudy out there, so I don't think we're going to get any kind of a sun. But we'll hook it all back up in real time, and then we'll see what the system does. Okay, so now all four, notice that 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. All four of these batteries are all at 1%. The system says it's at 4%. See how much that dropped? That dropped pretty quick. So supposedly all these batteries are only at 1%. Now I was told by Will, which is a very, very DIY with Will, very, very informative channel, very educated young man. And he said that you can drop down lithium iron phosphate to 0% and burn them all the way down, and that won't cause a problem unless you leave it there. That's the key. If you leave a battery sitting full or empty, then it starts to destroy the cells. It starts to wear them down. But here, 13 minutes to go. But as long as you don't let them sit there, so like if they sat there for whatever, like maybe an hour or two, I don't see that as a problem. But start to charge it right away. Start getting the energy back in the cells. It's kind of like, I guess you could relate it kind of like to, let's say a marathon runner, I guess is how I understood it is. If you run a whole race and you're completely exhausted, you have to sit down. You just have to. And then, while you're sitting down, your body is gaining that energy back. You know what I mean? Because you're resting. So maybe that's the same as battery, or similar to batteries. I can't say it's the same, but it's got to be quite similar as far as the understanding in how I took the information in. But it was very good to hear that, because we used to always try to run it between 10% and 90%, which is like, the golden space, I guess, if you will, in batteries. Or 20 to 80 is really the golden space, according to a lot of people. But Will says no, and I trust the guy. I think the guy is very educated. He made a lot of videos helping a lot of people. He made self-help books and things like that, DIY projects and stuff. He's been on the internet for a long time. His channel is very, very large. I mean, he's almost got like 1 million people, I think. I can't remember. Was it 1 million, or I don't know. He's got a lot, guys. He's got a ton of people. But notice those batteries, they're still going. The system's still going. Let's check real quick if we can. 4% on the battery, 49.8 volts. So the voltage is dropping really rapidly now compared to before. Battery health is 310. to 312, I think is the highest one, and then on the questionable battery, 311 to 312. See, so the voltage, it's all the same except the icon is different. That's the only difference. All right, let's go back just so we don't miss anything here. Okay, we get lost in the menu sometimes, guys. But yeah, it's still running. So 12 minutes. I'm going to try to pull out 200 more watts. Give me a second. I'll put another heater over there. Which I really can't complain about because it's cold outside. So the more heaters, let me see if I can put 200 more watts on. I should be able to. Alright, it's definitely going to go up here now. So 3,300 watts. It'll probably hit 3,400, I'm guessing. I just had to have a drink of pop here. So at 34, I think we could probably do one more. 12, let me do one more. I have all these little tiny little these Lasco My heaters. Yeah, I can do one more heater. This thing, guys, this inverter is really a monster though. It really is. It can take a lot of stuff. All right, I put another one on, and now we're at 3,500 watts. So that would cost me about 70 cents a day to run. Or I'm sorry, 70 cents an hour to run. Yeah, 75 cents. Yeah, I would not like that. That's a lot of money. Unless I was really needing to do something, I would be unhappy with that bill. Now we're down to 11%. I can't really go any more because remember, the inverter's 3,600 watts, and I never push the system this hard. But I want these numbers to drop all the way so you can see it in real time. Okay, 4% on the battery. All right. Now it's a waiting game. Let me get my chair. All right. Like I said, I wanted to do this because somebody asked me to film it what happens when the battery gets all the way down to 0. So I'm filming it, and that way PECRON can see it and see if there's anything that they can suggest or maybe update or fix their systems or anything. I wish they'd update at least something. Guys, have you noticed that in the last 2 years that we've been doing this, I have never seen an update for the E1500 or the E3600. Now we used to beta test, I think it's called. I'm sure that's what it's called. We used to beta test PECRON's app for them. They used to send it to us before they released it to the world, and we tested it because I think that we were the first ones to let them know that hey, something was buggy on our phone, and that's because we use an old phone. It's really not a phone. It's a phone, but it doesn't have service. We use that just for power stations and drones and stuff, and that way. We can be able to test without having to worry about our private information or something like that on a phone. So we tested it, and we let them know that that was a I think that was 04, I think it was. Yeah, because they're at 07 now. So we beta tested all of them up to 07, and that's the one that we have now. And that one, for some reason, doesn't want to load on my phone anymore. The same phone, mind you, the same phone. So I got to go back and check that again. But I wish they would update that. We don't use the app. We don't like the apps. We only like the Bluetti app. Here, 11 minutes. But we don't use that app hardly ever, because that's what I bought this system for, because it had that touchscreen. Is so I didn't have to use an app. I wanted all the information of an app without having to use the app. Let's check on the main. Oh, you know what we should do? I forgot we could do this. Let me look at, I'm going to shrink this down here, guys. Yeah, let me shrink this down here. And I want to see what the batteries are doing. I forgot the lights, okay? Now, if you have the E2000, I don't trust the lights at all. So just to be on the record like 100 times, we've said this 100 times, maybe more, we don't listen to the lights on the E2000 LFP. We just use it, and when the system runs out of capacity, then it dies. But we do not watch the lights anymore. These lights work very well. Notice that it's flashing. That means it's going down. So that's battery. That's the first one on the second leg, and then there is the one. And notice that one's flashing. See, it's going down. And then when there's one light, it's hard to know if it's going up or down, but obviously it's going down because we're drawing 3,500 watts. Okay, and then this one flashing, and then that one is, hopefully you can see that, guys. Yep, that was it. So they're all flashing, guys. All the batteries are doing exactly what they're supposed to do as far as the lights. So the E1500 LFP and the E3600 LFP, I can confirm that the lights actually work. That's the first time that I've ever seen the lights on the batteries actually do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, I guess not. It's just a waiting game, guys. Sorry. So here we're 16%. I can't pull out much more watts. I'm 3,500 watts. I could pull out another 100, but I don't really have anything that's 100 watts that I could pull out here. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'd have to have an any outie here. What if I charge? Oh no, that would put it, okay, here, 10 minutes. I think that would put, if I pull out another 100 watts, I think that would push it too far. Well, let's try it. What the heck? What the heck? I also wanted to make this video, if it helps anybody out there that's in the same boat that has the same questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out 100 watts. I'll back this up just a tad. I'm going to pull out 100 watts off of the DC now to charge a power station that's up. Let's do this one. Let's do the E500 up here. We're gonna put that into that one, just so I can get this to pull out a little bit more here. All right, there we go. Okay, sorry about my reflection in the thing here, guys. Okay, so here we got 3,500 watts coming out plus another 100. So we're just at the brink of popping the system, because remember that the AC is 3,600 watts out, and the DC I think is like 240. We never really use DC. If we do use DC, it's the USB-C cable. That's really all we use. I'm not really a DC guy anymore. But I don't have any more plugs on this side to burn out 100 watts. Well, let's see here. 10 minutes left here. So we have 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, and that is 17%. 4% for the whole system, and 48.9 volts according to the meter. But like I said, we're gonna shoot the batteries all the way down to 0, and then we're gonna charge up again in real time and see what happens in the real time here. Let me back this up so I got a little bit more screen here. Trying to get my arms out of this. If I put my arms here, I'm so pale right now because it's winter time. So I got to get out and get some sun. Hopefully your guys' solar is better. Ours has been really hit or miss for the last week or so. Really bad for the last month. Boy, this is just, it's cold, guys. And you would think if you can get some good sun in that cold, you'd be able to put out some power, but that sun has just not been cooperative. A lot of overcast and clouds and stuff like that, and it's just a lot of snow. Nothing really heavy, but just constant. You know what I mean? Like snow drifting all day long, and that really hurts solar, is when you cover up that sun, of course. Now here we got almost 3,600 watts coming out. So we're definitely pushing the inverter almost to the max, and then 100 watts on the DC side. Those are two different inverters, guys. Just so in case you didn't know. You have 3,600 on the AC side, and then I think it's 240 you could pull out of here at one time. Don't quote me on that, but I think. I've never really maxed that side out. Like I said, I don't use DC. So we're just trying to watch. And notice that 10 minutes is taking longer than a real 10 minutes. You notice that, guys? So that okay, wait. Oh, that was the, no worries. That was the, this one here, guys. I have the light plugged into this one. So, yep, my Bluetti is down to 0. So I got to charge that one. So what I do is I put this up on a ledge like that to remind me I got to charge it. Let me plug this in something else. I'll put it in this PECRON over here. I'll turn it on. Hopefully the system will not go off while we're waiting here. Okay, that should, oh, that's at 3%. Oh boy, that one's got to get charged too. Holy crap. So look, guys, I'm searching for power here. I'll plug it into the EB3A. Let's turn that on here. That's at 13. All these are low. Holy crap, Zoe, I gotta check all these guys. Okay, so now we got our lights back here. So I gotta do that one. I'll check all of those after this video. Testing never ends. It just continues on another model. And let's see what it does. Now I have no input coming in anywhere, DC or AC. As you can see for, oh, look at the voltage, guys, 112.7. So it's still over 110, but boy, that voltage sank, didn't it? Holy crap, Zillow. All your stuff is designed to run on 110, so you're still good. But look at that, that puppy's maxed out almost on that side. So all right, let's go back here, just so you can watch it in real time. Notice that 10 minutes is still 10 minutes. So this is a good thing for me, anyway, that the system does not turn off. But 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, and 16%. So it almost seems like there is more energy in those, in that last battery, right? Unless the meter's off. That's what I cannot figure it out if it's the meter or the actual battery cells. You would think that these batteries would have shut off by now, but they're still discharging. When those lights flash like that, yep, they're still counting down. Oh, here, 9 minutes. Okay, that dropped. This is going to be a long, boring video, like most of mine, all the rambling. But I think it's very important because I think this video is going to help people understand. And definitely, I think it'll help PECRON see in real time what the heck's going on. Let's go to, you know what screen we haven't gone to? We haven't gone to simple mode here. And notice that says 3%. You can barely see that. It's 3%. It's 9:55 in the morning. Our output is 3,500 watts. 3,550. And then I don't think DC shows up on there. Let's go see if DC shows up on there. I never really thought of that. Yep. Okay, so DC, and so that's a total output of all inverters. So that's a good thing. I never really use DC, so that question never entered my mind. You know, I'm assuming it's the total of the whole system, and it is. Okay, this dropped down to 15% now. We're at 30 minutes, almost 31 minutes on the video. So that 10 minutes, I don't think it was a real time according to the clock. But like I said, that's good for me because then the system won't shut off. You know what I mean? But according to this, having all these at 1%, I don't know, it doesn't feel good to know that. You know, if truly, if all the batteries are at 1%, you know, you'd normally want to charge them. When they get down to 10%, it's just of what I've learned over the years, that you have this feeling of, I got to get some energy in there to charge them. But according to Will, you don't have to, as long as you charge them right away, you know, an hour or two or something like that after they go down, so they don't stay down there. That's all. Let's see what else we can look at here while we're waiting here. Battery health. Now, notice it says excellent on all 4 batteries. Right? Here we're down to 299. So yeah, the batteries are, here's 3.01, 2.99, and then the battery in question is 3s across the board, it looks like. 3.02. Okay, yeah, some of them are a little higher. But that's not enough to make, you know, unless you're like 0.1 voltage off, that's, I think, within acceptable parameters of a battery cell, you know, kind of getting thrown off a little bit. Because, you know, that happens to the best batteries out there sometimes. PECRON is saying that if they had a DC to DC something, they explained it in their comments on one of the channel videos, well, here, I'm going to switch this real quick here, guys. Switch that light. That's going into the power station I'm charging, so I think that would be better. Let's turn on the AC here. Hold that down, and then there was light. Okay, so I got to check these little power stations here. They all got pretty low. I think the last time I tested them, they're all, notice that they're all within about 10%. That's the lowest I usually take them. I usually store them at 50%, just for safety. Yeah, see, this should have dropped down already, according to the meter. So the meter is definitely off. It is scary to see those all at 1% though, guys. But at least the system doesn't turn off. All right, we're 3,300 watts. Man, I could put another. Let me go throw another heater on there. I'll throw another small one. I got another one. I got tiny heaters for days, guys. Let me push this back up here. Okay, and for the record, it is getting warm in here, so I'll take it. Like I said, it's very cold here. 14%. Now we're 3,500% again on the AC and 100 watts out on the DC. All right, just trying to enjoy some soda pop here while I wait. You know, testing this stuff, guys, can be very boring. And then rambling about it can even be more boring because I just try to fill the air so there's noise. You know, some kind of conversation in the background. Notice that the main system says 86 degrees and then it goes 80, 75, 73, 75. So the batteries are not overheating with that much strain on it. That's actually very low. I mean, it's hot in here, guys. It's hot. It says 68 on the wall meter, but the problem with that meter is it's on an outside wall. So I should really move that because you're getting the effects of the wall, you know, from the cold outside. Hopefully, PECRON, you'll be able to watch this video and see what's the deal here. People also said, you know, burn the batteries out 100% and then charge them up again. Well, I did that. It does the same thing. It goes back to that last one getting thrown off again. I have no idea why. It's just a weird thing. Just a weird thing. I've switched the batteries to new locations. I've changed the battery numbers, and it's just, yeah, it's weird. That's why I'm making the videos, guys. Here, 8 minutes. See, that should have definitely fell. I mean, we're pulling 3,500 watts out of the system, and that really hasn't really changed other than when the heaters reach their thermal heating limit that's preset. You know, it pulls back a little bit because it doesn't need as much. It's kind of like when you start a car. You know, a heater takes a lot more to start it than to run it. You know, it just has to maintain the heat rather than, you know. Kind of like when you boil water. Once it gets up to that boiling temperature, it's easier to keep it at boiling than to get it to boiling. You have to overcome the temperature differences. All right, so 1, 1, 1, 1, and I think it's 12. I think it says 12. Boy, that's hard to read, guys. My eyeballs, I'll tell you what. Okay, 7 minutes left on the system. Let's see what the voltage of the battery system says. It says 46. Oh, that just dropped down. 46.0 volts for the system. 3% overall to the system. And 86 degrees on the, now remember that's the head unit. It takes the voltage and it was supposed to take the voltage of the whole system, but the temperature is definitely only for this. When you switch to this, that's the temperature of the main system and not the other stuff. We gotta be getting down to the nitty-gritty now. That's 3,300, 3,400. That's almost 3,500 watts still coming out. So this should have definitely moved quicker because the output power is relatively the same. It dropped a little bit. This was at 34, 35 plus the 100. But like I said, that's just how heaters work. At least I've got 1,100 watts of that going into the E2000, and then the rest of it going into heating this workshop. So working well, but I want to see what it, like. If this battery, if the system shuts off with this one has some percent left, then you know there's a problem. But if this goes all the way down to like 1% with the rest of them and then shuts off, then you know that the batteries are working fine. It's the meter. It's definitely the meter. It's a reporting issue. It has to be. That's my final diagnosis for this. Even though I'm not a professional, I'm just going off the everyday use of what I see. You know. I mean, you don't have to be a scientist to keep records. You know what I mean? So if you see the same pattern over and over, you don't have to have a degree. If it's always 100 degrees outside, you could say, well, chances are it's probably going to be another 100 degrees tomorrow. because of the patterns. You know what I mean? That's how I look at things. And that way you don't have to be an expert in a field, you just keep notes, keep records of it. But I suppose temperature is kind of like that, but you know, temperature can change in a heartbeat. Boy, oh boy. Especially I'm in the Midwest, and man, it could go from 80 to 20 in a day. That's crazy. I was expecting this last battery to drop down really fast, and it just hasn't. It's on 1, 1, 1, 1, and 11. So lots of ones here, guys. And then notice that the heater dropped down. Let's see what the voltage is again. Okay, so notice, see that output voltage? The output voltage says 100 volts VAC. Yeah, that dropped down. That dropped down pretty low, guys. I'm very happy that I have heaters on here to have it drop that low. So I don't know. Yep, see 99.5. So maybe that's got something. Maybe the batteries are lower than what they think. I figure if I wait just a little bit longer here. But that's definitely much longer than this meter says. Much longer. But I want to burn every battery down to 0 and then start afresh. And then I'll charge on camera. I'll charge solar. I'll charge AC. And we'll see what it does from there. Sorry the video's so long, guys. I want to do it in real time, and that way people can see it. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in like maybe 10 seconds. I gotta check something. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I hear the voltage is dropping. The power is dropping here. I wanted to check this side of the room here. Okay, there you go. Okay, so notice that the battery is at 2% and these are at 0 and everything shut off. Now the camera's not going to shut off because that's a phone. So everything turned off. Okay, so in real time I'm going to back this up. So now we have our base readings. This dropped down. Oh, and then see everything is completely down. So let me unplug everything in real time. Okay, that's a big port, guys. We usually never use that unless we have to. But this is really cool. So get one of those, guys. It's really cool. Amazon won't let me link that one anymore for some reason. I don't know why. Some items are not linkable. Okay, so let's take this one off. Let's take the heater off. Okay, so everything is done except these two. That's the shop. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plug in. Let's do solar. Now these are two 1600 watt runs. Obviously we're not going to get much solar today. It looks terrible outside. But what we're going to do is we're going to see in real time. Now remember that battery got down to 2%, that last battery. Okay, so let's see if that has enough. There you go. So the system kicked on. So it understood that power is coming in now. We're at 1% for the system. And then oh, look at one battery's actually disconnected. It probably because it went on standby. Let me, I think it would be this one. Let me click the button real quick here. There you go. Okay, so, yep. So, you know, when the system completely goes down, see now we're at 2% on that last battery, 1% on the first two, 0% on the next two, and then 1% on the last one. So they're all equal. We got solar coming in, and like I said, it's not going to be exciting at all. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the charger. So that last leg of the video, notice that the voltage output dropped down to under 100 volts. So that's good for the record here. Look at that solar. Are you kidding me? 7 watts. Guys, that's 3,200 watts of panels. Okay, there we go. 28. You got something. That's terrible. I'm also going to put AC in there. And then we're going to put that to, I want 10%. Yep, 10%, okay. That's squealing, guys. That's normal for the fans. I don't know if it's normal, but it happens all the time with the fans. Okay, so this should probably go up to about 300 watts. That's AC coming in, and then that's DC coming from, look at the solar. Is that terrible? Guys, that's 3,200 watts of solar panels. 1,600 watts and 1,600 watts, and we're getting 28 watts. That is unbelievably terrible. It's got to be so dark outside, as far as like it's 10 o'clock in the morning, but it has to be like super duper clouds outside. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, when it gets this low, what I like to do, I don't know if it's the proper thing to do, I like to charge, I think it is, I like to charge very slowly for the first couple percent. Now notice this one went down to 1%. So you got 1, 1, 0, 0, and 1. And then 76 hours. Guys, it would take 76 hours to charge this monster. Holy cow. 15,000 watt hours, that's nothing to laugh at. That's a lot of energy in there. All right, I think this system's big enough we could put it to at 120. So it's coming in at 120 voltage at 170. This would normally go at about, at 10% is normally about 300 watts. So let's see what it does here. When all of them get to 1%, then I'll bump it up to like 20% charging and we'll see what it does. Look at solar completely died. Holy crapzilla. That voltage on those strings, 16. That's got to be the worst solar day of the year so far, I think. We're waiting for this one battery to get to 1%. Now that's 100% reload and emptying and reload of every single battery. Every battery reached like literally the breaking point. See, 0% for the system. Notice that? Even though that's 1, 1, 1, 1, and 0, it still thinks that the system's at 0%. 47 volts on the battery pack as a whole. All right. Let's see. Now, I've never done this on video, so this will be a good test to record. Oop, let me go back here, guys. Yeah, 176 to this system is just, it's nothing. So I'm gonna, let's bump it up, guys. Let's bump it to 20%. That solar just, it's in, it's out. We're gonna do 20% on the AC. I wish you could turn off that UPS. Oh, guys, notice, did you notice something? The UPS is not turned on. Did you notice that? And it is plugged into a real grid. So maybe the UPS only turns on after a certain time. That's weird, but I never use the AC usually. I bought this for solar. That's the whole reason I bought it. But yeah, the UPS did not turn on. So that's strange. Let me, when it gets to 1% of all of them, I'll unplug it for a second and plug it back in, and we'll see if the UPS turns on. But notice that the UPS little logo here, or icon, is not on. Yeah, the batteries are all flashing, all 4 of them. It shows 2 of them charging and 2 of them just flashing. So yeah, so the first leg, which is this side, let me back this up, guys. Okay, it shows this one charging, this one's charging, this one is not charging, and this one's not charging. So you know how it normally goes like 25, 50, 75, and 100 like that. This one was only flashing 25. This one's flashing 25. And then these are flashing 25, 50, 75, and 100. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, so these 2 are charging. And those 2 are not. So let's see here. All right. Let's reorganize all this stuff here. I'll go back to the system here. And I keep seeing my really pasty arms in that mirror. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get out and get some sun. Here, 2% on the main one here. So the host, now the host always goes up before the rest of them. It seems to be normal. All right, the fans have calmed down here. We're gonna bump up the charging again. We're gonna go to 30%. Okay, so 2%, 1%, 1, 0, and 1. Boy, that solar is just terrible. 7, 15. Guys, that's 3,200 watts of solar panel. Holy crapzilla. Yeah, what a waste of money on a day like today. that costed, I think, about $2,100, I think I paid for all those solar panels. It's 8 of them. And when you look at that, boy, that is like, that's sad. See, 27 hours to charge at this speed. I'm going to unplug it for a second and plug it back in to see if that UPS clicks on. Okay, the inverter's off. power is done. Plugging it back in. We'll see the inverter click back on. You'll hear a click. I think. There you go. Okay, so we had to wait that time. All right, and now notice that the UPS did not. Now maybe under a certain percentage of the battery, maybe the UPS doesn't turn on. Like I said, I don't use UPS ever. Like I said, I bought this for solar, so I didn't buy this to hook to the grid. I like that I could charge it from the grid if I need to, but I bought this to use on solar. All right, yeah, the UPS icon did not turn on. Let's go to 50%. That should bring up to about 1,000 watts or so. 742. Okay. But it is charging though. Now let's check the other batteries. Okay, so now that this last battery, let me shrink this down and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so this battery, see how the numbers are going up, or 25, 50, 75, 100. That's battery number 1. Battery number 2, see it's doing the same thing. Now battery number 3, this is actually battery number 4. I switched the numbers on them to see if that would have any effect. So on the system, this shows up as this last battery, if that makes sense. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the system. This is battery 3 on the meter, and this is battery 2. So host 0, 1, 2, 3. I wanted to do that to see if that had any effect on the system. Now notice that last battery in question is flashing. See that? And then this one is, see, it's actually charging. See that? So this is the battery in question. That's the one I changed. All right, so I was thinking maybe it's possible I got 2 bad batteries or something, but I don't know. Without the test, you don't know. All right, notice that UPS has not clicked back on, and I'm hooked to the grid. Let me see what kind of grid power I'm pulling in here. 118.4 volts VAC. Yeah, so that's 745. The temperature is only 115, about 114.8. AC charging is 50%. So now let's bump it up a little bit more, and we'll see if that last battery kicks on. Let's see. Let's do 70%, guys. That should definitely be over 1,000 watts. Okay, 9, or just up to 1,000 watts, 980. And then what we'll do is we'll check in a second here to see. Now you see, notice that these icons, that last one's not charging, but remember this one is actually the battery 4 before. But notice how that's not charging. So I don't know. It seems to have an issue with whatever battery you put on this last part here, which is the bottom of the second leg. So we'll watch that in real time. Yep, that one is not charging. All right, let me push it up again here. Let me put it to, we're gonna go all the way here, 100%, guys. I don't know if this outlet can handle that. Let's hope. That's 1,600 watts. This is an old building here. The building's about 100 years old, so it doesn't have, like, it's up to code per se, I think. We haven't really changed much since we bought the building. Yeah, but obviously it had to be up to specs when you buy and sell a building. It has to get inspected and stuff, so. All right, now notice that last one kicked on. See that? So when you push it that hard, it forces all the batteries to turn on. And now we're 2%, 2, 1, 1, and 1. And the batteries, yep, the battery lights are moving. So that's what's nice. This little lightning bolt here, it tells you if the battery is charging or not. So that's definitely nicer than the other systems. I like that. That way you don't have to pull the camera all the way. I just did that to kind of prove to you that the lights are moving. But this will tell you without having to leave the screen. You have 1,600 watts in. It's probably like 114 VAC, so it's dropping. See, so we don't have the best grid power, and that might have something to do with outside too. you know, the energy coming from the pole or the line outside. But this is definitely, like I said, it's a 100-year-old building. It's not a newborn for sure. It's an old building. Solar has just died. Holy crap! So look at this. We're getting nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug solar again on this one and this one. And then in real time, we're going to see if that kicks back on or something. Let's see if the solar is really that bad. That's horrible. That's got to be the worst solar I've seen all year. You got 3,200 watts of panel, bringing you like 8 watts and sometimes 0. All right, so notice that the voltage is going up. This should top out about 80 volts on that one, 82. I think it's 80, yeah, 84 overall, I think, for both panels. Yeah, see, just under 84. I haven't checked the open voltage on this one in a while. Yep, 83.9. Let's see what it's doing here, guys. All right, no energy's coming in, so we'll do this one here. Okay, so hook that one back up and we'll watch this one in real time. Boy, that one kicked on right away. 19 volts, 67. 70, about 77.8. That one's got a little bit of power coming in. One of them is obviously better than the other one. But yeah, that's boy, that clouds have to be terrible outside. It looks really bad on the camera. Okay, so yeah, no power coming in, so that's not a problem. It says that there's voltage out there, but nothing's coming in, and we're getting 1,635 watts from the wall. 32212. Now, remember, this is that battery in question. That second one right here, number 2. No, wait. Did I change it? Let me check, guys. I gotta remember what I did. I had so many tests here, guys. Holy crapzilla. Nope, I have that as the bottom one. Sorry, the bottom one is the battery in question. So I changed it before, but oh yeah, that's right. I'm confusing myself. So let me explain one more time, just so it makes sense. Okay, so what I did is I took the number. This shows up as on the bottom one up here, right? Let me back this up, guys, so you can see. Okay, so this battery shows up as battery 3 up here, but it's from here to here and then there to there. You could change the numbers. So this is still battery 3 up here. That's why it confused me, because I wanted to change the numbers again to see if that affected anything. And so far it has not. So yeah. Now we're definitely not going to stay here for the entire charging thing, but I do question why. I don't use UPS, guys, so I don't really know. I don't think I've ever used really UPS other than to test it when I first got the system, but I'm going to unplug it again, and I'm going to plug it back in to see if the UPS turns on. Okay, here we go. It's at 100% charging, so you hear the AC inverter click on. Yeah, maybe it doesn't do UPS under a certain percent. I don't know. I never really, like I said, I don't use UPS. Okay, there's the click. So the inverter is turned on. Should go up to about 1600, which is from the wall. The cable stays nice and cold. That's a good thing. Yep, the cable is nice and cold, so it's definitely rated for that kind of power. Oh, here, 22 watts on solar, and then down to 8. So, and then down to 0. Boy, that solar's gonna be terrible outside. Holy crapzilla. The voltage is there, the power's not there. That's weird. And then notice, guys, notice that UPS did not turn on. Holy crapzilla. All right, I don't think there's anything more that I could test right now, other than, well, here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do in real time. I'm going to let you guys watch this. Do one last test. I'm trying to do every test I can to try to just help people here. I'm going to change the numbers so you can see this here. This one is battery 3, that's battery 2. I'm going to turn this to battery 2, and then this to battery 3, like I normally do, is 0, 1, 2, I'm sorry, host 0, 1, 2, 3, and now it's host 0, 1, 2, 3, so it goes like that, like a horseshoe, but they're hooked up the right way, if that makes sense. Host to this one, and then this one to that one. So I'm going to change them, and you're going to see these disconnect and reconnect in real time here. So I'm going to change the battery numbers real quick here. Okay, that's how fast you can do it. And then we'll see these batteries. I think I did it so fast I didn't even have time to disconnect, guys. So basically you just change the little serial number thingies. Your battery numbers. Yep, see how the number's inverted? Okay, so this is the battery in question here now. I changed it to space number 2. So now it goes host 1, 2, I'm sorry guys, host 0, 1, 2, and 3. So now this one, the second one, is the battery in question. All right, I'm going to let it charge, guys. It's another update. I know it's a long one, it's an hour long, but I do like testing this for the community. I think it helps. Hopefully there's valuable information here, guys. If you're not subscribers, hit the channel. We need you here. We need more like-minded people, intelligent people that have answers for questions that not all of us have. I'm not a professional, and I don't play one on TV. So, all right, guys, ramble on, be safe, and I'll see you guys again for another update, hopefully, with this system. I do like it, but now I have a question of why the UPS didn't turn on. So if you guys can answer that one for me, I'd appreciate it. All right, ramble on, be safe. Bye, guys. Okay, guys, it has to be another update. I'm sorry. Okay, there's a reason the UPS didn't turn on. That was my fault. Notice here, the AC inverter is not on. I should have noticed, but I was running the lights off this system, off this power station, remember? So I didn't notice that everything behind me turned on. Then there's the UPS. So the UPS works. Sorry for the misinformation on that one, guys. That was just a mistake. And notice that the output here, the heater's kicked on. I'm going to go turn those off. But the UPS works fine. But I forgot, if the AC inverter's not on the UPS, it's obviously not needed. So, okay, guys, sorry for that. And I'll have another update coming soon. All right, bye.